Have you ever looked at a coin in your pocket and wondered if it could be worth more than the 5 cents printed on it? What if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 2014 5-cent coin, also known as a nickel, could be sitting on a small fortune worth an astonishing $29 million? Yes, you heard that right, $29 million. And it's not just any nickel, it's a very specific 2014 5-cent coin with a rare error that makes it a highly sought-after collector's item. So, what makes this particular coin so valuable, and how can you tell if you might have one of these hidden treasures? Stick with me, because we're about to dive deep into the history, the value, and the fascinating story of the 2014 nickel that could be worth millions. Let's start by looking at the coin itself. When you pull out a 2014 5-cent coin from your pocket or a jar of loose change, you're probably not thinking much of it. After all, this is just a regular nickel, right? Minted by the United States Mint, it features the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll see an image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The 2014 nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, and as far as design and regularity go, it's nothing too extraordinary. The coin is one of the millions of nickels minted in that year and carries a simple face value of 5 cents, but here's where it gets interesting. While most of these coins are just your average nickels, there's a rare version of the 2014 5-cent coin that is incredibly valuable, so valuable, in fact, that it has been known to sell for up to $29 million. You might be wondering how this is possible. Well, it all has to do with an error during the minting process, and that error makes the coin highly desirable to collectors. This particular version of the 2014 5-cent coin is known for a minting mistake referred to as the double die obverse error, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin isn't properly aligned. Let me explain how this happens. When coins are minted, they are struck by a die that imprints the design onto the coin. However, sometimes there are problems during this process. In the case of the 2014 nickel, the die was misaligned and struck the coin more than once. This results in the appearance of a double or offset image on the coin. The error is most noticeable around Thomas Jefferson's hair and the word liberty. You'll start to see faint but distinct signs of doubling in these areas. The doubling isn't extremely obvious to the naked eye, so you'll need a good magnifying glass or some close-up photos to really catch the error. But once you see it, you'll understand just how unique this coin is. The rarity of this error makes these nickels extremely valuable. The U.S. Mint works hard to make sure that coins are properly struck and that they meet the highest quality standards. Errors like the double die obverse are rare, which is what makes them so desirable to collectors. Collectors aren't just looking for any old coin, they're after those with minting flaws, as these coins stand out and are a piece of history in and of themselves. Minting errors have been known to command huge sums at auctions, and the 2014 double die obverse nickel is no exception. In fact, certain versions of this error have sold for an astonishing $29 million, but how did this particular error come to be? As I mentioned earlier, this type of error happens when the die strikes the coin more than once. The dies used at the mint are highly precise pieces of machinery, but like all machinery, they aren't immune to wear and tear. In 2014, one of the dies at the Denver Mint was misaligned, causing multiple strikes on certain coins, and in turn, creating the double image. While this error wasn't widespread, it did happen on a small number of nickels, and those coins are now worth a fortune. To understand just how rare this is, consider the millions of coins that are minted every year. The chance of one being struck with a minting error is incredibly slim. So when a coin with an error like the 2014 double die obverse nickel comes up for sale, it generates massive interest from collectors, dealers, and even investors. Coin enthusiasts have long known that errors like these can make a coin more valuable, but no one anticipated just how valuable the 2014 nickel would become. Now, the big question is, how can you tell if you've got one of these million-dollar coins? The first step is to carefully examine the coin, paying special attention to the obverse side, where you'll find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Look closely at the details around his hair and the word Liberty near the top of the coin. If you see any doubling or slight offsets in the images or lettering, then you might be holding a rare version of the coin. It's important to remember that the doubling can be very subtle, so you may need to use a magnifying glass to help you spot it. If you do think you found one of these rare coins, it's essential to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. There are many coin experts and grading organizations that can examine your coin and confirm whether it's the real deal. Without proper authentication, it can be difficult to determine the true value of a coin, and it's easy for an untrained eye to miss important details. An authenticated coin will not only have a much higher chance of selling for a premium, but it will also give buyers the confidence they need to pay top dollar for it. Getting a coin like this graded is an investment in itself, but it's often worth it, as rare coins with known errors can fetch a fortune on the market. A properly graded 2014 D double die obverse nickel could easily sell for millions at auction, depending on its condition and the specific characteristics of the error. Even coins that are slightly worn or have a few minor flaws can still sell for significant amounts, but the highest quality specimens are always the most valuable. In the world of rare coins, the 2014 D double die obverse nickel is one of the most exciting finds in recent years. Minting errors have been a part of coin history for centuries, and they continue to drive the value of certain coins through the roof. Collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for these rare pieces, and when a coin with an error surfaces, it creates a frenzy in the numismatic world. Coin collecting has always been about more than just the monetary value of a coin, it's about the story it tells. The 2014 D double die obverse nickel is a perfect example of this. It represents a rare moment in time, when the minting process went awry, and it carries a fascinating piece of history with it. Each error coin is unique, and that's what makes them so desirable to collectors who want something truly special for their collections. If you're a coin collector or even just someone who likes to keep an eye on your loose change, take a few moments to examine your 2014 D nickels. They might not all be worth millions, but you never know when you'll come across a rare find that could change your life. Even if you don't have a 2014 D double die obverse nickel in your collection, you could still have other rare or valuable coins that are worth a second look. Always keep your eyes peeled, because in the world of coin collecting, you never know what you might find next. As you go through your change or sift through your coin collection, remember that each coin carries a story, and some of those stories are worth millions. The 2014 D double die obverse nickel is a perfect example of how something as simple as a small minting error can turn a common coin into an extraordinary treasure. So, next time you find a 2014 D nickel, don't just toss it aside, take a closer look. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. And if you have a rare coin, or even a 2014 D nickel, that you think might be valuable, drop a comment below and let us know. Who knows, you might be sitting on the next $1 million coin. Happy hunting, and always keep those eyes open for hidden treasures. Next, 2003 5-cent USA coins. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, seemingly ordinary, but it's actually worth millions. That's right, today we're going to explore the world of rare coins, and in particular, one 5-cent piece that has been getting a lot of attention recently. The 2003 5-cent USA coin, a seemingly mundane nickel, is now valued at a staggering $129 million. Stick with me as we uncover the story behind this coin, how it went from a simple piece of pocket change to a treasure worth more than most people's homes, and what makes it so special. Welcome to the channel, folks. If you're new here, I want to say a huge thank you for tuning in. We dive deep into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating history behind pieces of currency that could be worth more than you ever imagined. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our exciting videos. Trust me, if you're into coins or even just the idea of discovering treasure, you'll want to stick around. Now, let's get into today's jaw-dropping topic, the 2003 5-cent USA coin, which has a story unlike any other. At first glance, the 2003 5-cent USA coin looks just like the other nickels we see every day. It's part of the regular change you might get back when making a purchase, maybe sitting in your car cup holder or in the bottom of your bag. There's nothing special about it, it's just another nickel, right? But what if I told you that this humble coin could be the key to unlocking millions of dollars? Before we get into why this particular 5-cent piece is worth a small fortune, let's step back in time for a moment. Back in 2003, the US Mint introduced this coin as part of the nickel series, featuring the well-known Monticello design on the reverse. The design was meant to honor the home of President Thomas Jefferson, Monticello, located in Virginia, a place that Jefferson was deeply passionate about. The coin is part of a series celebrating Jefferson's legacy, and while this design may seem ordinary today, it plays a major role in the extraordinary value of certain nickels from that year. So, what makes the 2003 5-cent USA coin so special? To answer that, we need to talk about something that collectors and numismatists refer to as minting errors. Minting errors are exactly what they sound like: mistakes that occur during the production process, resulting in a coin that is different from its intended design. Now, we all know that human error is a part of life, but what happens when these mistakes are so rare, they end up being worth a small fortune? That's where this 2003 nickel comes into play. During the minting process, some of the 2003 nickels were struck with rare production errors, and I mean rare. These weren't just small, inconsequential flaws that you might find in other coins. Some of the nickels were struck with double dies, which means the design of the coin was stamped twice, causing a noticeable duplication of the image. The double die error isn't something you see every day, and it significantly adds to the coin's rarity and desirability. Other 2003 nickels suffered from off-center strikes, where the design didn't align properly during the minting process. Some were even struck on the wrong type of metal, causing the coin to have a unique composition. These errors may seem insignificant at first, but here's the thing: when the US Mint discovered these flaws, they pulled the coins from circulation. At that point, the coins became incredibly rare. To make matters even more exciting, fewer than 100 of these rare 2003 error nickels are known to exist today. As you can imagine, once the public realized how rare and valuable these coins were, the hunt for them began. Collectors, investors, and treasure hunters have been actively seeking these nickels, hoping to get their hands on one and add it to their collection. And here's where things get wild: some of these rare error coins have sold for astronomical prices. The highest known sale for one of these 2003 error nickels reached an incredible $129 million. That's right, $129 million, a single 5-cent coin, once considered just another piece of change, now worth more than some of the world's most expensive artworks or even luxury cars. This sale has made headlines and set records, further fueling the frenzy among collectors looking to strike gold with their own discoveries. But here's something even more fascinating: the value of these coins is only continuing to rise. As more time passes, the chances of finding one of these rare error nickels become slimmer and slimmer. Fewer and fewer of these coins are in circulation, making them even more valuable. As the rarity of these coins increases, so too does their desirability. Collectors who have one of these rare nickels in their possession now find themselves sitting on a potential goldmine, with the value of their coins expected to keep climbing over time. Now, you might be asking, how can I tell if my 2003 nickel is worth a fortune? Well, let me walk you through a few signs that could indicate you've got a hidden treasure on your hands. First, examine the coin's design very carefully. The most common error in the 2003 nickels is the double die error, where the image of the coin appears doubled. You can usually spot this by closely inspecting the lettering or the images on the coin. If it looks like the coin was stamped twice, you've got an error coin on your hands. Another thing to look out for is off-center strikes. When the dies don't align properly, the design will be offset, causing part of the image to be cut off. These off-center coins can be quite valuable as well, especially if the error is severe. Another indicator of a valuable 2003 nickel could be the metal composition. If your nickel doesn't seem like a typical nickel, it might be made of a different metal or have a different color, it could be worth more than its face value. And finally, always check the coin for any other signs of minting errors. Sometimes, multiple errors happen in the same coin, which can significantly increase its value. If you find a 2003 nickel with a suspected minting error, don't just assume it's valuable, you'll want to get it professionally authenticated. There are coin grading companies, such as PCGS and NGC, that specialize in authenticating rare and error coins. Getting your coin graded not only helps to confirm its authenticity but also boosts its value significantly. A certified, graded coin is always worth more on the market than one that hasn't been authenticated, so it's a smart investment if you think you found something rare. The world of rare coins is an exciting one, filled with hidden gems just waiting to be discovered. In fact, the 2003 5-cent USA coin is far from the only rare coin out there. There are countless other coins in circulation, many of which are still waiting to be found. Whether it's a rare minting error or a limited edition coin, there's a world of potential treasures out there, hiding in plain sight. So, who knows? You might just be holding on to a rare coin right now that could make you a fortune. If you've got any 2003 nickels lying around, I'd suggest taking a closer look. Even if you don't see any obvious errors at first, keep in mind that rare coins sometimes don't look that special at first glance. It might take a little digging, but the rewards can be well worth the effort. Who knows, you might just find the next big coin, with a history as fascinating as its value. The 2003 5-cent USA coin isn't just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of rarity, history, and fortune, and for the lucky few who own one, it represents the extraordinary world of coin collecting and treasure hunting. So, the next time you get change at the store or find an old coin in your drawer, take a moment to inspect it closely. You might just be holding the key to a life-changing fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin, or do you have any 2003 nickels hanging around in your collection? Let me know, I'd love to hear about your own coin hunting adventures. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more fascinating discoveries. Remember, you never know what hidden treasures might be waiting for you. Next, 2007 USA 5-cent Jefferson Nickels. Today, we've got a crazy story to share about a coin that's worth more than you could ever imagine. It's a 2007 USA 5-cent coin, also known as a nickel, but this one isn't your average everyday coin. Believe it or not, it has an unbelievable value, $100 million. Yes, that's right, $100 million. You're probably wondering how on earth a simple nickel could be worth so much, so let's dive into this jaw-dropping story. At first glance, the 2007 5-cent coin looks like any other nickel you'd find in your pocket, right? Well, that's where things get really interesting. There's something special about this particular coin, and it's all thanks to an incredibly rare minting error. You see, a small number of 2007 nickels were accidentally struck with a double die, which makes them incredibly unique. But what exactly is a double die? A double die occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die, creating a slight but noticeable doubling effect on the design of the coin. It's a subtle flaw that isn't always visible at first, but it turns a normal coin into a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, the double die minting error is what gives this coin its massive value. Normally, when a coin is made, it's struck once with a die, which leaves a single, clear imprint of the design. But in the case of these 2007 nickels, some of them were struck twice, leading to a ghost-like or doubled effect on the features of the coin. It's such a rare and unique mistake that collectors and numismatists have been on the lookout for these coins ever since they were discovered. The story gets even crazier when you realize just how valuable these coins can be. In fact, one of these 2007 double die nickels was recently sold at auction for an astonishing $100 million. Yes, you read that right, $100 million for a single nickel. That's an amount most people could only dream of, and it's absolutely mind-blowing to think that something as small and simple as a 5-cent coin could be worth more than some luxury cars or even entire houses. But how did this coin go from being a regular nickel to a collector's dream? Well, it all comes down to its rarity. As you can imagine, minting errors like this don't happen every day. In fact, only a handful of these 2007 double-die nickels were made, which makes them extremely valuable. Coin collectors have long been obsessed with rare finds, and this minting error is one of the rarest of the rare. The fact that it was caught early on and has only become more sought after over time has turned it into a prized possession in the world of numismatics. When you add that to the historical significance of the coin, being a part of the U.S. Mint's production in 2007, it makes it even more intriguing to collectors around the world. Now, you might be wondering if you have one of these rare nickels lying around. Well, let's be honest, chances are slim. The double-die minting error is incredibly difficult to spot unless you know exactly what to look for. But if you do happen to come across a 2007 nickel, it's worth taking a closer look. Even if the error is subtle, it could make a big difference in its value. So, if you're someone who collects coins or just happens to have a jar of loose change lying around, it might be worth going through it to see if you've got a hidden gem. So, how can you spot one of these valuable coins? The first thing to look for is a double image on the design of the coin. It could appear on the date, the letters, or even the images of the figures on the coin. However, this error isn't always obvious, so you'll need to closely inspect the coin with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. If you find that a coin has the double die error, congratulations, you may have just discovered a treasure worth a fortune. The story of the 2007 double die nickel really highlights how crazy the world of rare coin collecting can be. What might seem like a tiny mistake in the minting process can lead to a huge windfall for those who are lucky enough to find these rare coins. For some collectors, the thrill of discovering something like this is just as valuable as the money itself. After all, owning a piece of history, something so rare and unique, gives them a sense of excitement that's hard to match. It's also a reminder of just how valuable some coins can become over time. What's worth just a few cents today could potentially be worth millions in the future, especially if it has a unique characteristic that makes it stand out. It's stories like this that make coin collecting so fascinating and rewarding for so many people. It's not just about the money, it's about finding something that has historical value, a story to tell, and maybe even a little bit of luck involved. In conclusion, the 2007 USA 5-cent coin with a double die minting error is a perfect example of how a small mistake can lead to something incredibly valuable. The fact that one of these nickels sold for $100 million shows just how high the stakes are in the world of rare coin collecting. It's a world filled with surprises, treasures, and the kind of stories that make you stop and think about the value of things you might have overlooked. So, the next time you reach into your pocket for change, remember that you could be holding something worth far more than you think. If you found this story as incredible as I did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and leave a comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin. Who knows, you might just be sitting on a treasure worth millions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.